sweetness.
Hello, Queen Kim. How are we today?
How are you?
Fabulous. I'm so excited you and I get to sit here and chat
I
probably
know.
about some of our favorite topics.
I agree 1,000%. So I guess we introduce ourselves. Go
You go,
ahead.
you go first.
I am Kim Clancy. I am broker owner of Mindful Mortgage Group out of Boulder, Colorado.
Michelle Chretien, branch manager. Wow, that's hard to say today. Milestone Mortgage Solutions, and my branch is in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Nice.
So we're probably
Awesome.
around the same, just across the country from each other.
Yes. Same latitude.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
so I think today we will be talking about how engagement and connection matter.
was,
And I think that's a great topic for you and I because I think we both excel at that.
Yeah. And I think that, especially being women in this industry, we have a tendency to mother everybody
Yeah.
together, right? And I think being part of the Women's Mortgage Network fills my bucket
Yeah.
because I feel we're always outpouring to people. And I think it's great because, we met at an event.
Yep.
And it was at Fuse. It was the women's part of the Fuse.
Yep.
And I think that, I was just entering the broker world. I entered in 2020 and had my own shop until just recently.
Yeah.
And I think it can be intimidating sometimes
Mhm.
changing from retail to wholesale and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
And you were an amazing, friendly face. And I think it was instant smitten.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I think that's it. So this year, my motto is radical authenticity, right?
Mm.
And I know that sounds hype, but it's like it's not right for me. I mean, I know for you probably also, we're not Gen Z,
No.
probably more closer to Gen X. And so, making myself do the videos and like I have to do the things that don't feel authentic to me. I think yes, you still do those kinds of things because you have to be present. But what feels authentic to me, and that is exactly this topic, like just building actual foundational relationships, not only within Women's Mortgage Network, but this is 100% of my business is referrals, right? And so
Mine too.
Right. So referrals to me means someone trusts me. And
And there's a heavier pressure on that too.
Of
right?
course.
Yeah. Like, oh, I really have to go above and beyond. Not that we don't, you know what I mean? And we don't always strive for that. But I think there's more pressure to do that.
And I think though, building trust in that way, and makes it where you don't have a business that's transactional. You have a business that feels good at the end of the day. And you feel like that, I always tell this story. I don't know if I've ever told you this story, but I live was a small town when I moved in, and it was about 9,000 people. And now we're at about 30,000. So it's kind of crazy. But I was like, I remember telling my mom, I just want to have a business where I'm in the post office and somebody comes up to me and it's like, hey, Kim, my mom needs a refi or something like that, right? Like where it's like feels like that, like you're in the supermarket, you're in the post office. And I will never forget the first time I was actually in the post office and it happened. And I was like, oh my God,
you made it.
You made it, And so I do think both you and I, that's how we build our foundation.
We're in the city about 115,000 and our office is right downtown. Right on the main street. And it's funny because I'll be like, I parked my car and my son's my business partner. He's with me all the time. And he's like, did you get lost? I'm like, no, this one, trying to get to the office. And it's just amazing. That to me is like the best part.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's just,
I agree.
And then I think the connections we make through the broker world.
Yeah.
Where if I have a problem, I can call you and say, hey, Kim.
Yeah.
How would you handle this? What would you do? There's so many that I've met in our industry through the Women's Mortgage Network, through AIME.
Yeah.
If I have a pickle on a problem, I can call and they'll be like, oh, try this, this, this. you're just, it's everybody's an open book.
Yep.
And I think that's huge because I had someone call and say, hey, I have a client in New Hampshire. Can you take care of them? Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
Of course, you wouldn't even think
and we
twice,
just flip back and forth. States I'm not licensed to. Hey, Kim, take that. We do that. It's just natural. It's natural.
Yeah. I think that I think that is one of the biggest things. Like when I was in retail for 18 years and then I moved over to broker, and it's like for 18 years, brokers were bashed by retail. Right. And like, I remember even when I gave my notice at my retail place, it was like, that you're not going to get loans done, that like all the things, right? And then it was like, no. And then it was like, I got in and I was like, I'm closing loans so quickly. Like, what's happening? But I think the biggest thing that stood out, and it sounds like for you also, is that when we were in retail, it was very cutthroat, I feel, even within your own, in your own company. And then you go to a broker world where you would think it would be more cutthroat, but in fact, it's the opposite. Like we connect with each other. Mm-hmm. We are constantly referring people to each other. I mean, every day somebody gets a referral from the connections you make here.
And I think that's the part, right? Everyone's pretty transparent here.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the best part. I had back in 21, I had a surgery, and I had other brokers calling me saying, because both of my children worked for me at that point, and they're like, "What do you need? What do they need?" Like, and it was just like they weren't making a penny off of me, anything. It's that sense of community.
Yeah,
let's be real. We're blessed to be part of this.
We are, and even I think Women's Mortgage Network is really. I don't know how many are on in the group. I actually don't know. But I feel like it's really tight knit, right? Like I feel like that I read something that says, that the lone wolf mentality is just not the women's mentality, right? It might be for men. I can't speak on that, but clearly. But for women, it is true, right? Like we always say, like, oh, it takes a village to raise a family. Well, it takes a village to be a loan officer. And I think that for women, having Women's Mortgage Network is just, it's a safe space. At least that's what I hope that people feel, because that's what I feel. I feel like it's a safe space. We lift each other up. We're supportive. I don't know. What do you think?
And, in that Facebook group that we've got, which is so, I think, therapeutic, right? You can have those days where you feel like you're knocking it out of the park at work, but feel that at home you're failing.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's a constant balancing act, I think, right? You never balanced, you're balancing. Yeah. And I think that group is so great to lift each other up. Like someone could just be beating the crap out of themselves and they're like, hey, no, give yourself some grace.
Yeah.
Let's go. Tomorrow's a new day. And I think that, we're sharing books now. We're sharing all these, like, hey, have you listened to this person's, podcast, YouTube, whatnot. And I think we're all growing together, which is phenomenal.
And I love it. Well, the saying, what is it? Your vibe builds your tribe, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's really how it is. I feel that, we're just kind of going through a recast of Women's Mortgage Network, which I'm super excited about. But I also feel like that it has always, though, been just the place where you feel safe and that you feel heard and seen. And let's face it, as a woman loan officer, you have different things than a man does. And you also handle things a lot different. I mean, I would venture to say, if we interviewed 100 men loan officers, not one is going to say they feel like they made it because they were asked about a loan in the post office, right?
Exactly. Well, and I think that, if we lose a loan or if something goes, we internalize that. It's just our DNA.
Yeah.
I think much more than they would. So, like, I could not be where I am at without my son and my husband. Like, I'm not, I think that that's instrumental. But we're different. We're just a little different. And I think, the changes that are coming through the WMN right now is not like, oh my gosh, things weren't wherever and we need to change or anything like that. I think it was 100% our our industry is changing, and
Yeah.
what do we do to keep ahead of that and evolve so we can just serve better?
Yeah. I agree. And you know, as you know, we're breaking into like smaller committees now, and I feel like the reason that Julie did that, I really appreciate it. And it's because it's too much for one person, and it's even too much to like just have three people make the decisions. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, so this group of people is really good here, so they're going to focus on this, and they're going to focus on making 10,000 women, however many is in Women Mortgage Network, 10,000 women more educated on this, or have access to this, or be in a community for this. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that it's awesome.
Well, I've always heard the thing, they're always like, don't work on your weaknesses, work on your strengths, right? Because your weaknesses will come up and catch up. But I think that's what Julie did. She put people in their strengths.
Yeah.
And people are just going to flourish. It's going to be amazing to watch and see what happens. I'm so excited for the event.
What group are you in?
I'm in engagement.
Okay. And so is that social media stuff?
And just like relationship stuff, like I'm going to help try and get more people to come.
Oh, I love it.
Because I talk to everybody.
Yeah, of course you do, because you're awesome.
Well, and the thing is, if especially like first attendees for Fuse, it could be scary and intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
When you're like, oh, those people know each other and they're talking. Those people know each other and they're talking. Like, where do I fit in? So I'm like, oh, I'm going to go meet everybody and anybody who needs to be introduced to who. I like to connect people. That's
Well, and also let us do a quick shout out if whoever's watching and they feel like that. We are changing up this year, Women's Mortgage Network. The day before Fuse starts, we have, I think it's 4 hours or 5 hours. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's
5 or 1 to 4. I don't know. Anyway, but we are changing it up so that if you are the lone wolf, you will not be. You will be in a pack. And that's going to be your tribe. And we're even going to take that tribe outside of those doors. And we have things lined up. So I'm super excited about that. Like,
you're just going to automatically get a bunch of new sisters.
Yes. Like, just like showing up. Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
So, Michelle, tell me.
We did one out at UWM Live. We did a smaller one, right? And the content there was great.
Okay.
I took so many notes that day and went home with it. And I'm like, wow. And we just like, hey, if you're a woman listening to this, join our Women's Mortgage Network.
Yeah.
You can be as active or as sidelined as you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to be like, oh, I'm all in. No, you can just like be on the fringe, see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You never know. You can search that group for maybe issues or
answers.
problems.
I mean, even problem solving,
Yeah.
So tell me how, like, do you do a lot in your community, or how does, what do you do?
So I've been doing mortgages for 32 years. So since I was 4.
Yeah.
And so I serve on a few committees and in charities and things. And I also run a monthly network meeting. It's free because my feeling is you shouldn't pay to network.
Yeah.
So that we have all walks of life that come into that. And now we just started opening it up for nonprofits to come.
Oh, I love it.
So nonprofits thrive based on who they know. And, it might not be that they need financial support. They might need like hands to do something, right? Like I might need a volunteer today for 3 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's really starting to, blow up quite a bit. I just got involved with one of my clients is a veteran, a Marine. And he's put together a group of like 35 nonprofit organizations that serve veterans to do a weekend. And it's going to be on Veterans Day weekend at Anheuser-Busch, which, is a brewery here in New Hampshire. And it's just for people and veterans to know, hey, this is who helps veterans. Because a lot of veterans won't go out to search for help.
Yeah.
And this is just, they can go and, it's been great because it's really a group of people that have kind of put down their egos to build together, which is super fun. We do that. I do a couple of different nonprofits that I'm just on boards with and whatnot. And then we sponsor Little League, softball, football, all that good stuff.
All the things.
Which is fun because then you're in your community. That's where I take from. So that's where I give back to.
Yeah. I mean, it fills your soul, right? Like for me, it does. I mean, maybe not everybody. Maybe you and I, because we're extroverted,
Mm-hmm.
that it fills our soul. Maybe it doesn't fill others. But I love being in the community and not only giving back, but just like, it just feels so good when you're doing your nonprofits, or like we have, little things here in Erie. I live right outside of Boulder. We have little things here, and it's just like, when you show up to them, or, you volunteer for them. It's just like, it's just a different type of feeling. But, I think that it also builds your business, right? Like, I mean, they're all kind of interrelated. You're not going in it for the business, nope. But it is a byproduct of you giving your time and being authentic.
Well, and I also think that people know who you are, right?
Yeah.
So if the real estate agent sees a letter from my name, they're like, oh,
right.
We've met her here, we've met her there, like whatnot. It's just not some random person on a piece of paper that they don't know. Yeah. So I think that that's huge too. And, you're a smaller community. So to me, that must be like super family.
It really is. I mean, and like I said, it was like 8,000 or 9,000 when I moved here. Yeah. So, now it feels a lot bigger, but it was like, I always joke, I'm like, I think I've done half the loans in Erie, Colorado. You know what I mean? Because I know I haven't, because we have a lot of new builds, but it's like without the new builds, I've done a lot of the business here simply because I was PTO volunteer coordinator. I was football mom. I was, my banners are everywhere and all the things. I show up for the jogathon just because it's cute to show up at the jogathon. It's just building that.
We have the largest taco festival in the country, which is weird.
Shut up.
Yeah, they close our street and it's a bunch of vendors. All the restaurants come out and it's like $3 taco, whatnot. So I literally have a T-shirt that says, "We'll give mortgage advice for tacos," and I'm going and walking around and doing selfies with everybody, and like, I mean, it was hysterical. We had like so much fun.
And when is it?
So it was in May. So we already did it. And so
is it like Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah. So it's like usually, so it's like, it's that Thursday of Cinco de Mayo week. And we have,
oh my God.
And then like our street will be closed down. The Rotary Club does a massive car show on Labor Day weekend. So like, we'll be out goofing around and just talking with people. And that's what I love, because I think the one thing that we are missing is, since COVID, like people are starving for community. Mm-hmm. And I think those little pieces we do just helps add to it and fill the buckets.
And it helps open it back up, right? I think that like we closed down so much that it's easy to now stay closed down. Yeah. I remember when we closed down, it was like you couldn't even fathom not being able to do the things. And now we don't do the things, Right. And so I think, like really, like you're saying, like getting back out there and doing the things. And being present is actually opening the doors for others to do the same, And
I think, when I was younger in my business, I probably was more overwhelmed. And like, I can't do that too. I can't do that. The children were younger, whatnot.
Yeah.
But now I can do more because now my kids are grown and now my grandkids are hanging out with me and it's fun, right? But I think that, just that little bit just fuels, depending on how you're built, and being extroverts for sure. Like I need that. I remember when COVID happened, I had customers call me saying, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. They're like, "You're too social for this."
You're like, "Don't worry, I'm just out talking to the trees. Don't worry."
It's so much fun. Yeah. What are you most excited about for the WMN this year?
Selfishly, I'm most excited because I am putting together a event, and it's a retreat style event, and it's when I'm calling it in my mind, when wellness and mortgages collide. And because it's not, for me, I've learned that it's not like, you hear like, you got to keep your bucket full. And it's like, well, listen, I mean, that's almost impossible, right? But like, what are some things that you can do to love on yourself, but also love on your business? Like, they can go hand in hand, right? Good wellness and mortgages can go hand in hand. So I'm excited because it's been a vision I've had for about 15 years.
Yay.
And it's going to come to fruition. And I think I'm most excited because I told Julie this, like, I really want to make this affordable for everybody, because sometimes there's these events that, you know, are like, even just if it's not work, it's just like a wellness retreat, and, you know, it's $5,000, and you're like, that people can't afford that, you know? And so we're going to work really hard at, you know, not necessarily having it super fancy, but you know, the sponsorships that we have bring down the cost, so that if you are, you know, the primary wage earner with children, that you can still afford to do this, you know, and be able to take home tactical things. It's not going to be like where, I mean, I love Fuse and I love all the things, right? But I don't know about you, but at the end, you're just like, holy smokes, right? Because it's like coming at you pretty harsh, not hard, but rapid fire. This one is going to look a lot different. It's going to be, you know, maybe 1 or 2 work things that at the end are completed and you walk out with, not the list of things to do when you get home, right?
And I think when you go to an event with all that list, it gets stuck in a corner and it just hangs out, which I think is cool, because our event this year, you know, you're going to keep connected with the people at your table.
Yeah.
So you could do a Zoom call or whatever. Maybe it's once a month, just to keep, like, to go over kind of the stuff you learned. Because you can implement it better.
Well, and that's why, like, I'm super excited about WMN also at Fuse, because I do feel like it's the first time we're going to see it like this, where, you know, it's not just coming at you, you know, and then you get home. I always say, I'm like, I leave so fired up, and then I like forget my notebook that I took all the notes in for a month, and then I open it and I was like, oh, I was supposed to sign up for that, you know? And this one is going to be like, hey, you're not forgetting, because you're implementing before you walk out of here. And so I love that. I love that. What about you?
And I'm so excited for that too. And I also think, right, because I think that based on when Fuse is this year, and, you know, the WMN, I think that if we can do like some type of a goal setting exercise with like some soft music, and even if it's just like 2 things that you put down that you commit to yourself, 1 business and 1 personal.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be 50 you know, 50 things, like just like 2 things that you can stick to. And I think that would be my ultimate dream. Like, you go home with this little note card, or even, I mean, I'm talking out of turn here, but what if we had little cards, like index cards? You put down 2 goals that you want to accomplish in 2026, which sounds far away. And now this is October, we're doing this. And then maybe December, those get mailed back to you. And maybe they're copied, so in July they get mailed to you. How are you on track?
Oh, listen, I love it.
Right? And then again, before next year's Fuse, you get mailed. And where you have to then kind of rate, like, hey, where did I end up with this group, to my self-commitment?
Yes.
Because we all pour into everyone else, but you got to pour into yourself.
I love it. I love it. See, look at this.
Julia, you listening?
We weren't even planning on that. We were just here to talk about collaboration. We didn't know we were going to come up with an idea. I love
collaboration,
it.
Right? That's how we grow.
That's how we do it. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm so excited. Do we have a date yet for the retreat? No,
I'm looking at the end of January, beginning of February. One of the things I want to do is I do want a business plan type thing done, right? Like, and so I know that, you know, people would prefer having their business plan done January 1st, But quite frankly, we all know people do their business plan on before January 1st, and then they don't look at it all year round.
Or maybe you have that business plan you've done, and when you go to the event, you tweak it.
Expand it or something like that. You know what I mean?
Or shrink it.
So I have 8 places that I'm looking at. So warm places.
Being from New England, I appreciate the warm.
Yes.
In this time of year.
Exactly. Sure. Colorado, the end of January, we get a lot of sun here, so it's not like East Coast winter. But by the end of January, you're like, I'm a little chilly.
Yeah, exactly. And it's after the holidays, so then things are settled and whatnot. So yeah, I think it's great.
So, but it will be announced at Fuse.
Awesome. I also feel that our group is definitely one that it doesn't matter what's going on in your life, where you're at. It's not like, I can't go to this group because I'm not closing 30 loans a month.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be going to this group because I'm only did 1 loan next month. Like, it doesn't matter where you're at in your professional career or your personal career. It's everyone. All different levels, all different walks of life. We learn from each other.
Yeah.
I think that if I could definitely just get the confidence like Nikkei has for the videos. I mean, she's phenomenal, and I'm like, this is great to see this,
but that's what I'm saying though. Like, don't be authentic to what you like doing. Mm-hmm. Like, she does the videos, but hers are also keeping in mind that she does a lot of like out of the country stuff, right? So video would be, she's not belly to belly because her clientele is not. So she does what is most authentic to her and her clientele. So I think that's really important, just finding that instead of like beating ourselves up like, we should do this, we should is like the worst word, right? Should yourself to death. And it's like, instead, just find what brings you joy. And if you're doing what brings you joy, this business is stressful, right? Yeah. You're dealing with people's biggest financial asset. And so a lot of times we see them at their best and worst. Okay.
Oh, for sure.
So it's like you have that stress. Why add the stress to blog when you hate to write? Right? Yeah. Like, just do what brings you joy.
I'm never blogging. That's not my thing.
But it's like, just do what brings you joy, and then the business will follow because people can feel it on you.
Like, I love my face-to-faces. Like, even, a lot of stuff we do, we'll start everything, of course, online type of deal.
Right.
And it's funny, I just had a client, mid-80s, and she said, oh, yeah, send everything to me online, but then come to me so we can go through it. And it was great. And she always offered me tea and cookies, and it was great. I was her entertainment, I guess, for a few times.
I love it.
But I love to be able to do that. That's the part of our world, right? It's not one size fits all.
It's not one size fits all. And it really is just finding your path and then just doing your path consistently and doing it to the best that you can. And your path is we are very similar, but our paths are still a little bit different, right? On what we actually do. So just find your way.
And we learn and grow from each other, which is, I'll go to events and things, and, some of my friends will be like, oh, didn't you learn it all yet? Like, I was like, oh no, I'm a slow learner. Right? That's my joke.
No.
And I was like, no, you got to things change too much in our world.
Yeah.
And with technology, with guidelines, with everything. So, and I think.
But it's also a community, Michelle. Like, sometimes we just like to see each other.
Yeah. Well, and it's so good to see each other. We see each other so much over cameras that it's a hug fest. Yeah. Like, I get to physically touch you.
Touch you, buddy. Like, I get to say hello. Yes, exactly.
Which is fun, for sure. Yeah. And we've got some great, leaders and that have just been doing some magical things for us all.
Yes.
Which is so great.
So I will see you in Fuse.
Yep, I can't wait to see you. But I'm sure I'll see. I mean, we have a few meetings coming up here, so we'll see a lot of each other.
Well, I will see you face to face, but definitely at Fuse. And I enjoy talking to you like always.
Yes. You're the best.
You're the best.
See you.
And join WMN if you're not on there.
Yes. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.